Hi all, welcome to part 3, module 3, computer network. So we were discussing the routing algorithms, their properties, the concept of optimality principles, sync tree, all those things we already seen in our previous 2 video lectures. Now we are directly moving on to different routing algorithms. So we start with a very trivial form of routing. So the one that is the static routing, of course, which is not considering the dynamic changes of the network topology and all. So with a picture of the current network, say obtained in the form of a graph, it is directly calculating the so-called shortest path, and that it is depending for routing the packet, something like this. So shortest path. So let us begin our study of routing algorithm with a simple technique for computing optimal path given a complete picture of the network. So this is a requirement. So it is static in the sense initially to start with it should have the complete picture of the network. So once it have the complete picture of the network, it can find out the shortest path and that it can use for the routing purpose. So it is not ready to grow gradually, or it is not ready to accommodate any dynamicity of the network. So the idea is to build a graph for the network, and you know how to map a network into a graph. The nodes are nothing but of the graph represent the individual routers, and the edge represent the communication link, right? If they are connected to each other. To choose a route between a pair of routers, the algorithm first finds the shortest path between them on the graph. And you know how to find out the shortest path in a graph. One way of measuring the path length is number of hops. So the shortest path, that shortest you can measure by means of number of hops. Or you can take the geographical distance in kilometers, so that is another way. Or of course you can consider the mean delay of standard test packet as another metric. All those things we already discussed even. And if you consider the mean delay, definitely it is going to be the fastest path rather than the path with the fewest edges or kilometers. So that is one way, and this is another way. So depends, you can take anything as the edge weight. Okay, so in general case, the labels on the edge, that is what we call as the weight of the edge, could be computed as a function of distance of any of these parameters. It can be distance, or it can be bandwidth, average traffic, communication cost, measured delay, and other factors. So one or more parameters you can consider, and together you can define the weight of the edge. So that is what is going to define the shortest in your shortest path algorithm. So what you want to optimize, right, that you can define. So by changing the weighing function, the algorithm would then compute the shortest path measured according to any one of the number of criteria, or to a combination of the criteria. And several algorithms were there for computing the shortest path between two nodes. And can you recollect some of the algorithm? I think you might studied the many in your data structure as well as in your algorithm classes. So the popular one is Dijkstra, right? Dijkstra's algorithm, and this is something called single source shortest path. I don't know whether you remember or not. Single source shortest path. Shortest path. So from a given single source, it will find out the shortest path to all other vertices of the graph. So if you can run this, for a particular router, run it. So from that router to everyone else, you know, right now you know the shortest path, and based on another router also you run it. And with means if you want the shortest path between every pair of vertices and all, and other than Dijkstra, another algorithms we have where Bellman-Ford algorithm is there, right? Bellman-Ford algorithm, and another one, Floyd-Warshall algorithm is there. Anyway, I am not touching all this. So in your textbook, this Dijkstra is explained, so we will see this. Just for recollecting, I am mentioning you these names also. Floyd-Warshall. So this is something dynamic programming based algorithm that will give you the shortest path between every pair of vertices. So compared to Dijkstra's algorithm, that is more good in the sense Dijkstra, the same algorithm, single source, you have to run for each and every node. But between every pair, if you want, this is a better choice even. But as a beginner for networking and all, so we can start the concept. So you just want to get the notion of that shortest path only, right? Anyway, it is not going to be a practical algorithm as it is a static algorithm, but in certain situation we can depend on it, fine. So as in your textbook, this Dijkstra is explained, we will see this Dijkstra in detail. For more detail on other shortest path algorithm, you can refer any algorithm textbook. Right? Yeah. So here it uses the Dijkstra's algorithm, that is in 1959, to find the shortest paths between source and all other destination in the network. And this is the picture I taken from the Tannenbaum textbook, and they were explaining this in detail. For the detailed explanation, you can refer the textbook. But anyway, as you already studied this algorithm, I thought of just giving you this diagram only, and let me explain even. So here we are starting from the node A, right? From node A, it is trying to find out the shortest path. Just a snapshot of the total algorithm is given. It is not complete. You can proceed like this. You will reach the entire shortest path. I mean, from that node to all other nodes. So initially the shortest path will be initialized with infinity for every vertex, just like this. Infinity, because I don't know the shortest path length, right? And I don't know from where I am getting the shortest path. So what is my predecessor? So that is the next information that we will maintain. So that also we will simply keep as nil, right? And as you are starting from A, now you have some information with respect to A. So from A to B, from A, what are all the neighbors? So this black node indicates that this is the one which I am processing right now. Okay, so I am processing the static node itself. And what are all the neighbors of this A, this B and G? Now from A to B, what is the distance 2? So I now have a path from source A to B with the length 2. So now I can change that initialization, that is that infinity, with the 2, because I am getting a better path now. Oh God. Yeah. So from A to B, the distance is 2. Here it is 6. Accordingly, I am updating the shortest path from A to be of length 2, and with this B's predecessor as A, and similarly the shortest path from G, from A to G to be 6, that is the direct link distance, and its predecessor to be A. Now the A is processed, its processing is over. Now from the remaining nodes, out of all of them, choose the one with the minimum distance value. So for B, the distance value is 2, for E it is infinity, all others it is infinity, for G it is 6. So who is getting the minimum distance value? 2. So the minimum distance value is 2, and that is for B. So next I am choosing B as my working node. So working nodes were indicated by the arrow. So next, so I am, once I process this B, I will be marking it with a black dot also. So I am processing B now. So what are all the neighbors of B? So the one neighbor of B is E. So from B to E, what is the distance? From B to E, the distance is 2, right? But from the actual source A to B, the distance is computed to be 2. So this 2 plus 2, totally 4. That will be the distance from A to E through B. Okay, so this infinity I will be updating with the 4. How I am getting this 4? This 2 plus this 2. Okay. And for E, when E is concerned, its shortest path from when it is calculating the shortest path from A by taking the reverse path, E will be keeping its parent information as B, because the path is now updated through B, right? So its parent information will be kept as B. And similarly for C, from A to B, the distance is 2. From B to C, it is 7. So totally this 2 plus 7. Now it is 9. So that infinity you can change it to 9, and you can update the parent information because it is updated through B. So that is what you updated. So now 2 nodes were processed. Now from the remaining nodes, what is the next working node? So for C it is 9, all others is infinity, for E it is 4. So the one with the minimum distance value, from the temporary nodes or something they are using in the textbook. Other than the 2 processed nodes, the one with the minimum distance value is E now. Now from E, what are all the neighbors of E? neighbors of E are found to be G is there, F is there, only 2 neighbors, and you don't have to consider B because that is already processed. What are all the unprocessed neighbors? Okay, so everything you can maintain by means of some flag and all for its implementation. Even the implementation also given in the textbook that you can go through. Okay, anyway, example is enough like that I felt. And F you can update so from A to E it is distance 4, from E to F it is 2. So totally F distance will be updated to E and parent as updated to 6 and parent as 4 E. And similarly for from E to G, see if from E to up to E I taken a distance of 4, from E to G it is 1. So already from A to G directly it is 6, and compared to this 6 now I get a better path. So this 6 is now going to be updated to 5. How this 5 is I am obtaining 5 is nothing but this particular 4 plus this 1, right? Together I can choose this path so that I will get a better path. So this is now updated to 5. So that about it in this iteration. Now in the next iteration, out of the so far A, B and E were processed, and from the remaining unprocessed vertices, the one with the minimum distance value, that is nothing but G. So G is the next working node. Again from G the only one unprocessed node is H only, and I can update distance to H as this 5 plus this distance 4, that is 9, and parent to be G. And then the next minimum is found to be F. So I am choosing F. From F I can update. So there is no updation here. I think here there is an updation because already it is 6 plus 2 it is 8. Already it was 9. So that 9 is improved to 8 with the parent as F. So this parent information is actually helping me to trace the actual path. So from A to H, what is the optimal path? Just look at the parent of F, parent of H, F. What is parent of F? E. What is parent of E? B. What is parent of B? A. So the optimal path from A to H is, I'm tracing the path in a reverse way. Just look at H. What is its parent? F. What is its parent? E. What is its parent? B. What is its parent? A. So the optimal path from A to H is found to be A, B, E, F, H. Okay, so that is why we are keeping that parent information and the distance. And the distance I traveled is say 8 units of 8 kilometer or whatever it is. So like that we can proceed further and we can complete the tree. So this is the idea, but the problem, this is a very good well-known algorithm, and you know the running time and all. I am not going in that way, analysis part and all, and you can go for some other variations of the shortest path algorithm also. But overall we have a problem, and what is that problem? That it's not going to consider any dynamicity of the network, like dynamic topology change or dynamic change in the traffic pattern. Nothing will be considered by the algorithm. So that is a limitation. Otherwise it's can be used as a good static algorithm, routing algorithm. Okay, so that about the shortest path algorithm, and if you want the algorithm in detail and all, you can either refer the Tannenbaum textbook or some other algorithm textbook. Okay, thanks for watching.